What is literal language, again, guys?
What do you mean what you say?
Yeah. And figurative language, what's the point of figurative language?
You don't need
To
exaggerate.
An exaggerated expression.
A figure of your imagination.
Okay, we use our imaginations when we use figurative language to show people certain ideas in a new way, right? And that's what helps make writing interesting. Yeah? I think of your first drafts as the time where you get all of your ideas out on the page. I always tell people not to censor themselves whenever they write for the first time, because you want to get absolutely everything that you can get out on that first sitting. But then it's always good to go back and revise and kind of flesh out those things. And I try and pay attention to the questions that a reader might have in their mind whenever they're reading my piece. Like Will's question of what's the difference between these two? So one thing that I hope you guys kind of can take away from this experience is learning to ask yourselves the questions that are really important in revision. I think revision is kind of the most fun part because so much of the work's already been done. So is there any such thing as a perfect piece of writing? This is something that I talk to the college students I work with about a lot. Do you like this title for this one? I personally really like it. Do you like it? Would you feel differently if I didn't like it?
Probably not.
Okay, okay, well but you should be confident in that title because it's a good title. You say you try and fix everything, and when you said that, you made it clear that your speaker definitely has a history with this person, and it made me really curious about what that history was. All right, so how do you feel about it? Okay. All right, do you have any questions? Okay. I asked you about the setting, and I think you're right. I think that it works way better to have him outside. I think that that's more natural because there's
like on a desolate road.
Ooh, I like that. Why would that work well?
Kind of fits the tone.
Yeah, it fits the mood, right? This kind of lonely, disappointed mood. Yeah. Okay. Does that make you like it a little bit better? Okay. You could always have the weather not match and then have the character comment on the fact that the weather is happy while they're sad, or, it's their wedding day yet it's raining. So you can use the setting to come to some interesting conclusions about your stories and your characters. Does that make sense? Well, I think that emotions can be powerful. And I think one thing that's actually lacking in your story that I really, really want to get through is all the emotion that's in it. And I really want you to talk about the emotions that you were feeling. And sometimes it's hard to talk about how we feel. I know for me, I have a lot of trouble talking about my feelings sometimes. Yeah, so what makes it difficult to talk about your feelings? Yeah, I know it'll be a little bit of a challenge for people like us who have trouble talking about feelings, but I think that it's an important exercise, and trying to use as much figurative language as possible to explain those emotions I think would be helpful. Like, for instance, I saw something about a tsunami, so you could say something like, fear hit me like a tsunami, or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel a little bit better about that?
Yes.
Okay.